I am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter here to help you get ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. And, all that other good stuff. I'm here to answer career questions. That's what I'm here for. So what we're looking for in this case is a communication specialist, which I've never shockingly heard of before today. So what we're going to be looking for in a communications or PR specialist, as far as I'm aware, they are the same job. If they're not, then I'm sorry. And these are going to be very sus as keywords. So assuming those are the same things, let's check it out. It's going to be PR, corporate communications, Microsoft Office suite, so Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Teams. That was in most of the jobs. I swear if you know Microsoft Office suites, you are qualified for about like 75% of corporate office jobs. B2B, how you succeeded in communicating. So I need to see, this is one of the cases where I do need a little bit of a metric. Forbes, TechCrunch, Media City News, Fierce Health. Basically, were you published in anything? How were you famous? Which is what I should have wrote here. If you've done podcasts, cross-functionally across different parts of the internal company, agile, internal, external customers, and your education, and the industry, because again, industry is going to matter. So I think this is the right resume, right? This is what I got. Communication specialist. That's what it says it. Okay. So I'm expecting this to be okay. This is a C- resume. It's gotten 1 to 50. That's an average ratio of 50 applications to 1 interview. So let's see if it is actually a C- and what we can do to improve it. But before you do, please hit that bell, the like button, subscribe. It very much helps me out. And if you need more help, I get these keywords on my live stream. That's where I offer all this advice for free Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till about 2 o'clock. And it's on twitch.tv/headless headhunter. So font wise on this is kind of hard to read. 10.5 Arial is the best. This is a little smaller, I think, but it's not great. So education should be up at the top. Again, if education is a requirement and you have it, it should be up at the top. You should format it. This should only be 1 line. Nothing here needs to be bolded, which I don't even know if people can see. Yeah, okay, they can see it. So here, let's go to the actual keyword. Senior account executive. Delivered increase in media coverage, audience engagement, and event success for numerous clients through strategic communication, leadership. Okay, cool, but I need to know how. Like, you can't just say, your bullet points can't just be, I am good at my job because I am good at my job. You need to show how you do. Now, I think this is okay to have a summary bullet point, but again, it needs to be a bullet point, and having that first, mainly because a senior account executive, they may not understand that is actually a communication specialist. So if anything, maybe you want to change that to communication specialist or PR specialist. Job titles are malleable. People get a little confused on what you can and cannot change it to a job title. If your job title, like if you can say in an interview to the hiring manager, my official job title is X, but I called myself Y because everybody in our industry called us that, and that was what my duties were. That's okay. If you can't say that in an interview, then don't do it. Then it's a lie. So, because again, internal and external job titles can be very different. Increase key audience engagement and media coverage. I mean, who are those key people? By leading earned media strategy and writing high quality external, internal assignments, partnerships, and events. So this part is mid, but this part is solid because this shows me what you actually did, which is press releases, newsletters, social media posts, and memos. That I like. I need you to be more specific. You can't be broad in your resume. I can't say I am a good recruiter because I have recruited people successfully. I have to say I was top 3rd out of 55 other recruiters in placements for the year, and I specialized in filling hard to fill roles that other recruiters needed assistance with. So that is how the difference between those two sentences. Strengthen rapid response communication during crisis. That can be okay. I mean, it's good that shows you can do that. I just don't know what the crisis is. Drafting timely internal updates for 200+ employees and managing 30+ reporter inquiries to ensure accurate media coverage. This one's great. I actually really like this bullet point. I wish I knew what the actual major crisis was, but I'm assuming you have it there. You just don't want to dock yourself. Secured a 95% saturating for from 90+ country setting by executing. See, this is good. By executing 2 high-profile client events, overseeing written communication, coordinating the vendor. These are really solid. Honestly, your biggest issue is these are kind of bad, but these are good. Like, you actually have some solid bullet points. You just need to tighten up a couple of the top ones. Maintain corporate brand voice and editorial brand voice, corporate voice. Those are good things to have. Stand by proofreading, editing, and reviewing high visible content across print and digital. Yeah, so those are good. Like, those bullet points are actually pretty solid. I think that's why you're having a 1 in 50. You are missing, I would say, specifically some of the details in the first 2 to 3 bullet points. You might actually have it down here. I don't know if you're just not showing it, which is okay because you don't want to dox yourself. But these need to be more detail. I need a little bit more detail here. I would like to see that you have done Microsoft Office stuff, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Teams. Again, you don't have to prove you're good with it. Brags are not needed in resumes for most of the time. This one you need a brag, but you actually do show it. But I just need to say, like, maintain corporate brand voice and editorial standards by proofreading, editing, reviewing high visible content, using Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and Teams across print, digital, and email channels. That's all I really need to see on this. I just need to know that you have done them. If we can add B2B, it's good. If we can, relatively good. The reason you're not getting more interviews is your education is at the bottom. Your first 3 bullet points are a little vague, or 2 depending, and you don't mention Excel, Word, Office, PowerPoint, or B2B. So just add those a little bit, be a lot more specific. But otherwise, I do like how you wrote a lot of those, because these are metrics that are understandable to a layman. So overall, not bad. Again, this is why this is a C- resume. So make those changes, and I think you're going to be getting like a B+, A, which is again like a 1 to 25 ratio instead of a 1 to 50. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a Python backend dev. So this person said that they are applying to both senior and non-senior jobs. That's good, because sometimes seniority at one company is entry level in another, but I'm not getting many recruiter callbacks. I want to focus on back-end engineering, but in reality, more of a generalist. I feel a lack of focus may contribute to my issues, and that is true. A lack of focus on your resume will. So there is a little bit of an issue, is that you can't just be a back-end software engineer. I know I say this stuff all the time, but when you specify, you can be full stack or front end, and those keywords are the same, but when you specify back end, unfortunately, there are various ways you could do it. You could be a Python back end, which has different keywords than a Java back end, that is different than a C back end. And maybe Ruby on Rails. It's been forever since I've seen a Ruby on Rails resume, so I don't know the keywords for that. So this is a specifically keyword based on Python. I have this keywords for Java, and I don't have them for C. I haven't seen a C resume in a while. But if you need to know that, let me know in the comments below. I can put it down there. But admittedly, your resume is only getting a 1 to 75, which is not good. Again, that's like a D-, but it's not the worst ever. 1 to 75 is not good, but the basic line of passing is 1 to 50. So let's hopefully see if we can get this down to like 1 in 25, 1 in 35. So formatting, it's a little off already. So again, you don't need a summary. Unless you are switching industries, you do not need a summary, or there's very, very specific niche reasons most people do not need a summary. Then I do want it to look like this: first and last name, which you have there, phone number, email, LinkedIn portfolio on the same line if you can fit it. Sometimes those lines go over, that's okay. And then if you are a U.S. citizen or green card holder and you're applying to the U.S., citizenship status and city and state. That will help you immensely. That way it removes implicit bias that recruiters could have, which I don't, but like, look, not everybody's a good actor, unfortunately. So, programming skills, Java, Ruby, there's Ruby, Python, Bash. Again, the skill sections don't matter, they don't count. If a manager, and this is the manager, not the recruiter, if a manager does not see your skills in a bullet point and how and why you use them, they will reject you. And if you need them to be in the bullet points, then you don't need a skills section because they are irrelevant. The exception to that, again, is going to be some very high-level directors, but those are entirely different resumes, and they get weird. When you get that high up, resumes get a little bit weird. So, skill sections don't matter. Education is good. GPA is fine, but it shouldn't be bolded. Yeah, you don't want it to say bolded. And if you've been in the workforce for a while, I don't think you should even put your GPA, because that sort of implies that maybe you just graduated. So if you actually do have 10 years, I don't know if you need your GPA on there. This one I'm a little bit waffling on, but yeah, you definitely need the education. It should be up top, but this whole section can be deleted, and this can be shrunken to a single little bit cleaner, no bolding. So let's see with this. Again, no bolding here. Please stop bolding everything. It makes it so much worse. So much worse. You don't want your resume to get rejected because the recruiter missed your keywords because they were reading it so fast and your bolding broke their concentration. So managed global search. Oh, let me read the keyword. So assuming this is Python, which it might not, it might be Java. Then I want Python, SQL, Docker, Kubernetes, Django, Cloud, and anything. Again, Cloud has a couple of different subsidiary things, which is fine, but I do want Cloud, RESTful APIs, Agile, Git, and CI/CD. With the bonus of full stack. So, manage global search clusters. I don't know what a cluster is. I don't know what green-blue deployment is. I don't care. Built monitoring dashboards could be okay. Using Datadog. That might be a keyword. Again, this really depends on the overall stack. Datadog could be a keyword to keep in. We'll have global search service. So here's the problem. I don't know what kind of engineer you are until I get down to here where it says Python. So the very first thing you need is your tech stack. All right, I want the first sentence that said manage global search, whatever, using Python blankety blank and blankety blank. So Python API is fine. Enabling your CI/CD tools, good. To provision staging instances based on test requirements. I don't care about this, but it makes sense for the rest of the sentence, so that's okay. Built a Python tool to generate spin maker workflows, enabling Chief to efficiently manage workflows on the host. I don't. Okay, but like, why is it that I have to go all the way here before I don't see any SQL. I don't see any RESTful. I see API. I don't see any of the like Docker, Kubernetes, Django. I don't see Cloud. I did see CI/CD. I don't see Git. I have to go all the way down to here. Oh, there's Kubernetes. Yeah, you did do it. I have to go all the way down here to basically find that. So your problem is you just have a lot of extra keywords. If you literally just simplified your resume to mostly what's in here, again, depending if that's the right stack you are, you would get more. Because AWS is all the way down here, but they might actually miss it. Because in this sentence, you have implemented a cost-saving measure by analyzing data throughput requirements of Kubernetes clusters and right-sizing compute clusters, resulting in 11% reduction in my team's AWS operating costs. You know what I don't care about? Half of that. You know what I do care about? Kubernetes, AWS. And you know, if you're doing like a cloud thing, this reduction, but like, why is an 11% reduction impressive? What's the normal one? I don't know. So there's too much here. But the fact is, this is why you're getting 1 in 75, is the recruiters that are actually making it through all of this junk to get to here are probably going to move you forward because you have some good stuff. So simplify it, please, especially if you're a software engineer. I really want you to make a list of keywords like this that you see from the job description, and then give your resume to somebody who does not know computers. And I mean, like, they cannot turn on a computer. Ask them to find it. If they can find it in 15 seconds, because that's all they get, put a stopwatch, 15 seconds, then it's a good resume. If they can't, then you need to redo it. But right now you have too much extraneous stuff. There's too many things here that could be keywords but are not. But again, this is assuming you are a Python backend, which maybe you're not. I don't know. So be specific, be focused. You can have 2 different resumes, one for Python, one for Java, one for cloud engineering, one for potato farming. I don't know, but it's important to focus. The more generalized you have, the worse you're going to do. And you have some good keywords here. It's just hard to find them. You're essentially hiding what I need, and that's not good. So again, this is not the worst resume ever. Absolutely not. It's a 1 in 75, D-. It's just, if you literally deleted like this, you would probably get a 1 to 50. Like, change nothing but deleting this, not counting the education, and you would probably get a 1 in 50. But we can make it even better than that. So next resume. This is a resume of Leroy Jenkins, which I hope everybody gets that reference, because that was a huge part of my childhood. So, we are going to see if you have enough dots, but realistically, as a full stack engineer, what we really do want to check is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and cross-functionally. I'm still iffy if I should even include cross-functionally, but I saw not enough. So bonus points for architecture, extra language, Git, and a 33.3 repeating chance of success. But these are the US-based keywords. The UK keywords are slightly different. Typically is going to replace Python with Java and add 1 or 2 extra Java things. So this resume is getting them a, what do we have? 100 to 1, which is not good. Ideally, we want a minimum of 1 to 50. And let's see if this is going to work. Oh, they're in Florida. Okay, yeah. So the UK one doesn't matter. So education, good. Companies. So I don't need a link here like this. I don't need a link to the company. This is not huge. But I don't need a link. So led the full stack development of collective marketplace. You need to describe a little bit of what a collective marketplace is, but using Next.js, React, TypeScript, HTML, and CSS. That's good, but I want the TypeScript HTML. I want the TypeScript here. I want it before the Next.js. Streamlined backend processes. Also, it's very possible that this is the redone version of this, and they have not had a chance to see how successful this version is. Streamlined backend processes by optimizing Node.js and PostSQL queries, leading to faster APIs and reduced server load. That's okay. Streamlined, again, CI/CD with GitHub Actions and monitoring Sentry. Don't really care about Sentry. Deployed via Vercel, Docker, and AWS. Good. Cloud hosting. AWS is shockingly one of the few things where you don't need to write it all out. I know it's very confusing on what you do and do not need to write out. AWS, you can just leave as AWS. Most people know it as AWS and not Amazon Web Services. But if it's GCP, then you do need to write out Google Cloud Platform instead of GCP. So there's no way you would have known that, but unfortunately that's just how it is. So enhanced unit testing with React testing library, Jet and Cypress, GraphQL. Okay, so a couple of these I don't care about. The order of this is arguably the most important thing that we need to do. So I want to see led the full stack development of RX, which I guess is a collective marketplace, but I don't know what a collective marketplace is, using TypeScript, HTML, CSS, in an AWS environment, all right? Because AWS, this is actually so out of all of these, okay, there's a lot of these. There is a sort of order to the most important ones. And the most important ones, which let me see if I can get on here real quick, are, that looks horrible. Let me fix that formatting, are these. So these are the most important versions. Do not bold them in your resume, but this is the order, is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, SQL, Angular, and Cloud. In no particular order of those, but those are the most important. So those are the ones I want to see in the first 2 sentences. Which is the most important part. And then you have a couple of things here that I don't really care about. RESTful API is good, but the rest of this is like, eh. And again, AWS, you don't have to write it out in parentheses. It's just AWS. I don't know why everybody knows that instead of Amazon Web Services, but that's the meta. Implemented feature updates in collaboration with senior engineers, enhancing product capabilities, improving team efficiencies. This is a nothing sentence. I need to see what you coded here. Contributed to code quality by performing peer reviews and enhancing CI/CD pipelines. That's good. But I also don't see JavaScript anywhere here, which is still good to have, even though I know you have the TypeScript. Maybe you didn't. So yeah, we're just missing some keywords. You don't need these giant links here. It's okay to have a website here, but don't include them after everything, because it's very likely that the people looking at it will not be able to even click those links, and it kind of messes up the flow of the resume. Open source project in GitHub. This should be under the project section. So the formatting is a little off. A couple of the keywords are not in the right order, and you have some extraneous keywords. Once you fix that, you should stand a better chance. But I imagine that this is not the 1 in 100, because I think I reviewed your last one like a week ago. So I'm assuming this is the new version that you haven't yet tested out. So once you do that, then we can go back and do a little bit more. But again, this resume is okay. I'd say it's like 1 in 75 maybe. You're just missing a little bit of stuff, and the order of it is off in the formatting. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a program manager, which is going to have different keywords than a project manager. Is going to have different keywords than any other type of manager. So this person has about 100 to 150 to 1 ratio, which is not good. They are looking for a job that pays over 130K in managerial stuff, so like program project, which I think is doable. I mean, the market's really not good right now, but I feel like you could at least come very close to that, and especially if you're including any bonuses. But They also are having a hard time finding anything in aviation, which I think is there a difference between aviation and aerospace? Like, if I feel like aviation just means aerospace, but I'm not sure if I'm right about that one. So let's see what's wrong with this resume. What we're going to be looking for in a program manager specifically, which again is going to have different keywords than a project manager, is industry. So again, this is going to be the industry that you're going to be working in. Could be medical, could be insurance, could be aerospace or aviation, which I need to check out if those are different. I've worked in aerospace. I should know this. This is a bad on me. PMP is huge. Microsoft Project and Visio, Microsoft 365, MS Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and pivot tables, cross-functional, highly matrixed organization, stakeholders, customers, clients. And those are nice, but I would say arguably the most important stuff is how you succeeded and managed multiple projects at the same time. That is the big thing, is how you were able to handle all of this stuff. That's the big thing. So, results-driven... Okay, you don't need a summary. Results-driven manager with a strong background in training, aviation, and operations management. Proven ability to lead teams, improve processes, blah, 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 don't care. Okay, so I feel like someone could make a supercut of me reading all of these summaries, and they would sound exactly the same except for industries. This can be deleted safely. Education, good. In aeronautics, see, coursework included. This I don't need, and again, this has been a while. You don't need to include the dean's list. I do need the education, so this should be one line. And I don't know enough about your individual industry to know if these licenses or certifications are needed. Ideally, we'll want to keep it to about 3 lines total under education and certs. But I feel like you don't need the life insurance one if you're applying to program manager jobs. The airlines one might be useful, but again, that's a lack of my own industry knowledge. So, already we can cut this down to essentially 3 lines, and that's going to help a lot. Here is actually your biggest mistake. Any single time you have a date in your resume, with the exception of education or skills, or like education or certifications, so anything in an intern or project or actual work experience, you need to put the months. You need the months. You need month 2022 to month 2025. Those are the most important parts to put. If you just put the year, you are probably going to get rejected because they're going to assume it is the least amount of time and that you're hiding something. That's just the facts. So always, always, always put the month date here anytime in the intern section, the project section, or the individual work experience. So, manage and maintain flight and ground training programs for part crew members, ensuring compliance. That could be good depending on the industry, which I assume, like you said, is flight, so I think that's okay. Led process improvement initiatives to enhance efficiency and effectiveness of training programs. No, what kind? You can't just say, I did stuff. You have to show how you do it. I can't say I'm a great recruiter. I have to say, I placed 3rd out of 55 other recruiters for 2022, and other recruiters came to me for training and difficulty in fixing tough to fill positions. It wasn't in 2022. It was earlier than that, and I don't remember off the top of my head. But you cannot just say, I do X. You have to show how you did X and why you do X, especially for program, project, and managers. You need to show how. I don't care so much that you led the process. I need to know how you did it. Built and maintained strong relationship with key customers, attending sponsor events, and managing client expectations. Not just how did you do it, but why. Why was that important? You need to tell me why that's important. Oversaw training schedules, tracking and reporting, ensuring timely completion and regulatory adherence. That's an okay sentence. Negotiated contracts, pricing, and billing is good. Optimizing cost efficiency. You don't even tell me optimizing cost efficiency. Just say negotiated contracts, pricing, and billing to do why. Why were you doing that? I guess optimizing could be it. It sounds so flowery. I hate it. Manage department employees, set performance goals, and evaluate areas for professional development. This is good. This one is good, but I need to know how many. How many department employees did you manage? This resume has like nothing in it for me. Develop and manage departmental budgets, ensuring financial alignment with company goals. What were the goals? You don't tell me anything. You are telling me, you're not showing me. Collaborative FA, managing compliance with safety and security. This might be industry specific, so maybe that's good. Conducting an education policy corrective measures. Yeah, that's the problem with this entire resume. The fact is, you probably have some very niche aeronautical or whatever it's called experiences, but which is getting you maybe an interview or two, but The rest of this resume is kind of garbage. There's not, you cannot just say you manage. How did you do it? If a bullet point besides the summary of the very first duties right here, so this can be a summary, so except for this bullet point, you need to show me what the keyword is, how you did it, and why you did it. And for program, project, and managers, how and why you did it is arguably more important than the keyword itself. So not only are you missing some keywords, your resume doesn't really tell me anything except for this part, which is solid. This one is okay. And where did the other one go? I can't even find it anymore. There's like one other sentence. So you need to really redo your resume. This is why. Like, it shows me nothing. It gives me absolutely really nothing to hang on to, and managers are not going to like it. I imagine that FAA and TSA compliance and safety are rare skills, so when you apply to something using that, they move you forward. But yeah, you need to change like every bullet point except for the two that I highlighted, and this needs month. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer. What kind? I don't know. But they said, in fact, even the thing is that I'm currently looking for internships for the summer, but since I graduate next semester, full-time job advice will be really helpful. So, first off, the resume that gets you an internship will probably not get you a full-time job, and vice versa. You need to be a little bit different. Internships specifically for software engineers usually focus on a broad spectrum of skills. You don't need to necessarily specialize for like front-end, back-end, or full stack, and you just need to show that you can work well with others and can take criticism well. For actual full-time employment, though, what you're going to want to do is focus on front-end, back-end, full stack. And if it's back-end, you need to focus on either Python, Java, or C, one of the Cs. Or maybe Ruby. Again, I haven't really done a Ruby on Rails developer in forever, so I don't actually know the keywords for that. So, that is the difference. So I don't know if this is going to be... You actually seem to have a very good ratio, 1 to 25, which is great. So let's check it out. So formatting could be better, but it's not the worst. Conducted a one-on-one group tutoring session with students. That's actually really solid for internship. Achieved elevated student performance through efficient guided support. Oversaw the grading process for exams. For data structures, TA. Yeah, this is actually pretty solid. Create student performance grade of average. So these are very good bullet points specifically for an intern, but are kind of garbage for a full-time role. But very good for internship. So, build, support, optimize data pipelines and architecture in Azure environment. Really good. Utilized Azure Data Lake tools. Oh my gosh, where were you when I was doing a Data Lake role like a while ago? For data engagement. No one says Data Lake on their resume, but people ask for it a lot. I have a story on that one. And factory pipelines, use PySpark and Pandas for data manipulation, use data. Okay, so these are actually pretty solid. I don't have data engineer off the top of my head. So, but these are actually pretty good. Honestly, what you should do is just fix the formatting because it's a little hard to read. But I really do like what's here. I don't know what the keywords for this are because, again, you need to pick a stack. Or alternatively, like data engineer. Data engineer is also going to have different keywords. So, what you want to do when you fully apply for full-time roles is you're going to pick a section of the job title and then tailor your resume to that. So you can't just have it here. You have to have it in the bullet points themselves. Because if they're just here, the hiring manager will reject you. Not the recruiter, the hiring manager. But how you wrote these bullet points, even though I don't know what these keywords are good. So I want you to, if you're looking for full-time roles, write it like this. This is how you write it. This is really solid. This, on the other hand, is how you would write specifically an intern. So if you want to have a good internship, you do this. If you want to have a good actual full-time, you do this. So even though the formatting's off, this is a really good resume. Also, you don't need to say for full-time roles when you started, only that you graduated. So just switch it to this format and you'll have even more luck. But overall, I really do like it. Because again, I would rather have better bullet points than better formatting. Hopefully you have both, but I would always pick a better content than formatting because the formatting's only purpose is to specifically make the rest of it shine so that we can see what we're looking for. So overall, I really like this. I was actually like, oh, is this actually a 1 to 25? And I'm like, yeah, I can see it. So these are phenomenal for interns, and these are really good for full-time. I don't know if those are the exact keywords they'd want for data engineer. Do I have that saved? Let me actually check. I do actually have that saved. So you would want ETL, we have Azure, Spark, Cloud, Warehousing. So yeah, it's been a bit, but still, this is how you would write it. So overall, really good. Just switch the formatting, make sure you focus, and you can have 1 or 2 different resumes once you're looking for full-time roles. So when you're looking for full-time roles, you want to make sure you nail the keywords real correct. And then when you find those keywords, write them like you wrote them here. These are perfect. You don't need to add any flowery language. So yeah, I'm kind of in love with a lot of this resume. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you need more help, come to my Twitch at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I will see you all next time, and I hope to get you all ahead of the job market.